Hey, everybody, how are you? Welcome to Into the Core podcast with myself, Linda. As always, I'm really excited to showcase my next guest. Last week, we had an amazing time speaking with Phil Denny, and that was just awesome. And so today, I know that a lot of you who followed Capital Jazz Club, as well as, followed what the jazz scene was bringing to the stage, we had the privilege in 2014 of having my guest, Julian Vaughn. But before we get into it, as we always do, I got to start with the intro. So welcome aboard.
Into the core.
Get into it.
All good things in Africa and beyond. Into the core.
Get into it.
Into the core.
Get into it.
All good things in Africa and beyond.
All right, so let me introduce international smooth jazz artist. He's a bassist. He's amazing. He's definitely a chart topper. Okay, so if you are not in Nairobi and you are not privy to seeing him, you need to check him out. His name is Julian Vaughn. Julian, welcome to Into the Core podcast. We're streaming live on Facebook, on YouTube, and the works.
And I'm very happy to be here this morning over here and the evening for you.
It really is. No, thank you so much. So I'm just going to jump into it because I know that you have a little bit of a schedule. So I'm going to ask you a few questions. So first of all, one of the main things, you started out in 2010, basically came into the game in 2010 with your debut album, which was Breakthrough. But before that, what were you doing? Everybody has asked me the same question, and I was just like,
Before that, I was wrapping up my. I went back to school to get my business degree, and I was actually making plans to get into jazz. Took me about 2 years to like really kind of study it and see everything I needed to do because I didn't want to fail. So that's
right.
what I was doing. That's what I was doing after I figured out what I wanted to do. That's what I, studied
That's
and got in and
okay.
stuck both feet into it.
Okay. So you had your business. You have, I'm gonna get into the music bit of everything, but do you have any businesses that you're working with?
Yeah, my business. I am have my own, like Julian Vaughn Productions is my business. So it's everything that has to do with music. That includes producing for others, writing for others, along with myself. So, and then I have other investments that I'm in and everything. So, I mean, it's a list that I am trying to, as the years go on, expand. So, which I think every artist should do.
All right. So came from Kansas City. You were the drummer where your dad used to preach. So what was that experience for you? Growing up church,
Well,
drumming, and then finding your, your direction as a bassist.
I'm just like every other little guy that was at the church. You played drums because that was what was there. Bass wasn't available. So, I played it. I can't say I was in love with the drums, but I played it because everybody else did. But uh, once there was a bass guitar presented there, I picked and I never put it down since. And I was at the age of about 15, and
15
yeah.
years old.
So
Wow.
you know, yeah, yeah, yeah. So
Um,
taught
and
myself how to
and
play from then on.
and what was, like, what was the feel? Because I saw a statement where you were talking like everybody wanted to play the drums. So what was it like for you to transition from drumming into playing the bass? And um, how did you introduce that back into the church? Did you introduce it back into the church?
No, it was already there. Somebody was already playing, but just the whole drum thing, it was never just one drummer. It was anywhere from about five people trying to play drums. We're fighting to get on drums, fighting each other to get on there. So it just got to a point to where I didn't want to do that anymore. Like I need to find out. So I need to find another instrument to play. So this guy had a bass guitar there, and I just happened just to pick it up, just like nonchalantly, just picked it up, and I said to myself, I think I'm gonna learn this, and then that's what I did.
And
It was no more drums after that.
how long did it take you to, because you self-taught yourself, right?
Yeah, it took me about 3 years to 3 years to I'll say 3 or 4 years to be comfortably be able to do a live recording. And so yeah, that's how long it took me. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So
So
I really want to talk about the love of the bassist, and I always say that there's something about the bassist when they play. Um, and for me, my love of a bassist started with Flea, Red Hot Chili Peppers. You know, that's my school of
hmm
music, and I just remember thinking he was the darnest coolest person. And then, cut back into when you came into Nairobi, and I was just like, this is really cool. Like these people who are on the forefront and who are doing really, really great. And who are some of your top bassists that you absolutely love and that you're following, or that you've loved, or that have inspired you?
well, um, I mean, you gotta start at the top with Stanley Clark. It's like one of the godfathers. He's on the Mount Rushmore of bass players, and
Right.
also just not as a bass player, but he's on the Mount Rushmore as a lead bassist. And like from Stanley Clark, you had guys like Wayman Tisdale, who I took after because I just related to his sound. I related to the way he approached the lead bass, but he also played bass too. But he took after Stanley Clark. So it was just like this. It's got this Stanley, this Wayman, and then you have myself. I mean, this is funny how that happened. And we're all tall guys too. And you have Victor Wooten out there. And then I have guys that are not like artists that I love to hear play locally in the States. But these are the guys I grew up on listening to when I discovered the bass. Like I didn't discover Stanley until I was 18, 19,
Oh
20
wow.
years old. So yeah,
Oh cool. Um
yeah.
so I was thinking about I had to go back into some of my favorite albums and kind of look at some of the bass players, um, that have played, and then was really shocked. So, you know, for me, and I put this out there, like, for me, Pino Palladino, uh, I couldn't believe that he actually, okay, so there's there's music that I love, but then I had to go into the bassist circuit. I love John Mayer. I absolutely love D'Angelo. So, when I went back into him and I was looking at how cool, funky he was, that that completely resonated into why I love, anyway, going for live shows, because you get to see everybody in their pure intricacies. Like, having even watched you playing live has been so beautiful and
Mm.
amazing, because you're very personable, and then you're very intimate with your music, and that's actually what I would say. You're very intimate with your music.
Yeah.
um, what are some of the things for you that motivate you to write music that allows you to be the most creative, and invite collaborators to work with you?
Um, I wouldn't say it's being a creative, motivational thing. Um, for me, I just get into a mood or a space to where, like, it's like having a cloud over you, like a creative cloud. So I know when that creative cloud is over me, and so I get down on it and start doing what I do and recording, and that cloud can last a day, it can last 2 days, 3 days, a week, 2 weeks. Uh, like, while it's there, you gotta take advantage of it. But when it leaves,
Absolutely.
it's like, all right, there's nothing there's nothing in your mind, or the creative juices have left. So it's a come and go type of thing with creating this music and writing. Sometimes it'll hit you in the car, or sometimes it'll leave for a month and you don't write or
Okay.
create anything for a month. So it's just it just comes and goes. You can't, being a songwriter and a composer, like, you can't say, all right, I'm gonna wake up today and I'm gonna start at 8. I'm gonna do it 8 to 5 this
Mm,
whole week, and when 5 o'clock comes, I'm done. It doesn't work like that with us. So, a lot of times while you're asleep, that's when our creativity is at its highest, and
you, yeah, your
and
creative
so there's
juices
there's
start
no stop
flowing.
time. Yeah, yeah. So it just it's weird, but it goes, and it comes at different times, and you just have to go with it.
Yeah. Um, it's funny. So I want you to explain to me what it is like to play. You came from the drums and then you're in the bass. And I saw a really beautiful quote from Flea where he said, you got to grab it, slide around on it, and feel it with your hands. And I was like, oh, Lord Jesus, that just, okay. So, what would be
Right.
your description of you playing the bass? How would you describe it?
Um, I guess you would call it my happy place. Uh, that's my outlet. Um, that's my main outlet for pretty much everything. So, um, yeah, it's a very intimate thing with me when I'm playing my bass, especially if I'm recording, or especially if I'm on stage. and
Yeah.
especially when I'm doing a love song, it's very intimate and personal, and I think that's what resonates when people hear my music, and especially my love songs. You can feel the passion in it, and so I mean I can feel
Yeah.
it when I'm playing it. So I know that people can feel it. So, but yes, it feels like love. That's what it feels like.
Feels like love. I love that. One of what I love is your most current album, Chapters of Love. But before we get into that, let's talk about your process. Um, Getting into Breakthrough and then Limitless, and then getting into Bonafide, you know, Supreme, and then into Chapters of Love. When you look back at yourself, now that you've done your fifth album, if I'm not wrong, it's fifth, right?
Six, six,
Sixth
six,
album.
six.
Okay,
Yeah.
so sixth album. So now that you've got into that space, what is the one thing that when you look at Breakthrough and then look at yourself right now, what are the differences that you see in yourself as an artist? Which is, you know, yeah, what do you see that is different?
Um, Only difference is maturity in songwriting, maturity in playing, and with anybody. Well, I don't care what you're doing. The longer you do it, the better you get. So, and in all phases. So that's just pretty much what it is. It's just the more uh, records I done, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna learn. I'm gonna do something different, and then next record come out, I'm gonna get better at this, get better at that, and you just like it just keep evolving. And so that's the difference. It's just evolution. And my next record that's coming out next year is the same way. It just keeps going up higher and higher. And so um, I enjoy that. I enjoy that learning different things. Definitely not content or you know. Um, I like to challenge myself to make different types of music.
Are there people
So
who have completely influenced how you have also transitioned? It's always interesting to know who you know who stands at the backbone of who Julian Vaughn is.
well, I mean, just like I said, uh, Wayman Tisdale is the reason why I got started in this in the first place. But since then, like I listen to a lot of music, a lot of artists, mostly R&B. Listen to the new stuff, the old stuff. It's just a whole melting pot of music that I just take from and take ideas and create my own. So I mean, everybody contributes. To be honest with you,
Yeah.
so
No,
yeah.
that's brilliant. Um, I'm going to go through a list of people who, for me, and I just want to hear what your feedback is, if any. Um, like, okay, so for me, baddest bassist, I'm like Sting. Do you love Sting?
Uh, I'm not. That's not my. I mean, he's great. Don't get me wrong, but I'm not. I'm not a. That's not my cup of tea. So I'm
Right.
not a Sting fan
All
or
right.
a Flea fan or yeah. I don't listen to those guys. Like
That's all
a
right.
lot of bass
That's
players don't. I don't know about there, but they don't listen to them. They listen to. I mean, depending on what age group you're talking about, like I said, the Victor Woodens, the Stanley Clarks, the Marcus Millers, the new age mono neon uh, people like that. That's what people listen to out here. So yeah, That's a whole different audience.
It's a whole other different audience.
Yeah,
That's all right. And
yeah.
that's okay because it's so appreciated, you know.
Hmm.
Uh those are definitely some of the, you know, for me on my time, I'm like, those are some of my
Yeah,
greats. Um, but at the
yeah.
same time, so your album that is happening right now, you know, Chapters of Love, what is your, you know, what's the message that you're trying to send out to everybody? And who are some of your bigger collaborators in this album?
Well, to be honest, um, this was I was with a record label for 8 years, and I owed them my last record. I had one more record before I got out because I'm now independent, which I will stay independent. Um,
Okay.
so I owed them a record, and I said, okay, what's the easiest record for me to do? A love record, because love songs come natural to me. I mean, I can do a Chapters of Love Part Two right now if I wanted to. Um, so I was like, all right, I have a list of songs that I've recorded. Some songs on there I done 5 6 years ago that just now came
Hmm.
out. So and it was a pandemic. I knew we wasn't going to be touring, and so I was like, let me do something different. Let me just do a whole CD with just love music, and so that's what I did. And I mean, the good thing about it is everyone has a favorite song on there. So it's like 11 tracks on there, and each song is somebody's favorite song, which is what you want to shoot for. You don't
Loving
want
on
to have three,
Sway.
four songs that are great, and then all the rest, everything else sucks. So no, everybody has a favorite, and so
Yeah.
yeah, that was my whole thing behind that record, and then I enjoyed it. I enjoyed recording it. So I know if I liked it, loved it, you guys are gonna love it. So
Yeah. What is the difference, you know, by the time you're getting out of a record label and you're going independent, to any artist that is trying to get into the business, um, you know, trying to get into the music business? What is the difference between, you know, a label holding you on, you know, your albums versus you going independent? I mean, it's right there,
it's the
but
different the difference is money.
like,
The
let's
difference is
hear it.
money. It's
Yeah.
money. Uh, they're going. You're never going to sign a record deal and have the upper hand. They're going to have the upper hand on you, especially percentage wise. So yes, it depending on what label you on. Uh, Marketing is key, and yeah, you may be marketed, but you won't make the money you would by being independent. So
Right.
once I built up my fan base all over, and then the contract was coming up, it was perfect timing to get out and do and own everything that I put out. So that was the whole thing, and I'm going to make twice as much money going forward as I did being under a label. And so for anybody out there, I mean, some people want to get into a label, sign a record deal just to say they sign a record deal to try to be famous. I'd rather be financially stable than be famous any day. So I don't care about that. My whole thing is
I like that.
who's getting the most money at
Yeah.
the end of the day. And yeah, it's the labels getting the most money at the end of the day. Let's just keep it real. So
Yeah.
yeah.
What's your team? What does your team look like? Like when Julian is speaking to his team and saying, um, "This is my direction. This is what I want, and this is where I want to go." What does your team look like? like how strong do you have to be connected to them? I mean, number one, we don't like talking down, but we like talking to each other. So what does your team look like?
Uh, uh, I mean, I don't know how to explain what they look like.
No, no, no. I mean, like
It's
not
just,
physically,
yeah,
but
yeah, I know what you're saying. I don't know. I don't know. We get the job done, period. You know, and everybody plays their role. And
mm,
if I need to bounce something off of them, you know, I value their opinions and they value mine. So uh, you get the job done, and you know, and you just like each year you just keep growing, and then the trust keeps growing as well. So
yeah, yeah. Are you looking to collaborate with any African musicians? I have to ask that, I'm from hometown,
uh,
so
I yeah, it just depends on who they are, what they play, if they can play, and you know that's what it just comes down to. Who I'm just not gonna just play with anybody if they don't complement my style. You know,
right.
just to have a name on it, they have to complement my style. And so, you know, I don't have any African collabs, but I do have some African songs. I had one on Supreme called Afro Calypso, and I have a new one coming out next year. I can't wait for y'all to hear it. South African influence.
All right. Oh, that's
So
great. That's awesome. Do you have any
yeah,
heavy influences from South
I was
Africa?
influenced.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, 2019, which was like one of the best years of my life, you know, I was able to go do two shows in Johannesburg and Soweto, and then the same year, uh, when I was in Soweto, and that's when I really got inspired to write this song it's called Rainbow Nation. It's not gonna come out till next year, and then later on in the year, got a chance to go perform at Lagos, Nigeria, and I got inspired again, and it was just, I mean, the music, man, it's make you want to dance all night. So I just took bits and pieces of those experiences in 2019. And I just put them into my own material, and it's great. I'm still not done. I think I might do a whole African style CD one day. I think that's coming because I just love the music. I love the beats, and we here in America love it too.
Yeah. When you were in Nairobi, what was the experience for you?
It was cool. It was my first time being in Africa. It was cool. It was cool. The guys, you guys were nice. Uh, got to meet a lot of people. Um, of course, got to perform and dance with some of the people in the audience. So it was
Yeah.
a fun experience. It was a very fun experience. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, one of the things that I always try and um, kind of give is inspiration. So, what kind of inspiration would you give to, the bassists that are out here in Africa, trying to make a movement of their own, trying to be seen, trying to be heard? And by the way, there's something about you guys. It is so wrong for me to say this, but let me compliment you in a very unusual way. I always look at you guys. So I was looking at Leland Scar. scholar, and he used to play for Phil Collins, and he just has like a movement about him. You have a movement about you. You
Mhm.
know, you guys are just um between the drummer and the bassist. I'm always just like, you two are like um it's crazy. I don't know. This is just my version. So,
Mhm.
which is always great. But what is the one thing that you would love to tell anybody who wants to pick up a bass guitar and play? What would you impart to them?
Um, Learn everything there is about the instrument. Uh, pick up, pick pick a few guys or a guy and study them. But a lot of this new generation will pick up a bass now and they want to do all these bass tricks and solos, and that's not what the bass is mainly
Mm,
about. It's the foundation of the music. Um, the bass is why people get out there and dance and shake that thing. That's the bass is the reason why they do that.
right.
So if you don't learn the basics of that and just keeping the groove and keeping the pocket, then you're doing the wrong instrument. But you are the foundation. So if you don't want to be the foundation, then you better go play the guitar. But the bass, you are the foundation. You have to hold it down. So study somebody that does that very well. And it's not about I can't do tricks like this guy or do tricks like that guy. It's not that's not what it's about, you
That's
know.
not it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wait, I have a last question for you. Sorry, we're just
Hmm.
about to be done. But can we talk about Wendy Williams? Just a like a smidget.
Go ahead.
So one of the things that I even told Phil, I was like, man, I can't believe that Wendy. There was top three. Julian Vaughn was there. Um, I really want to ask you, how do you feel right now? She didn't pick you, so how do you feel? You cool?
I feel totally fine. I'm totally fine.
So why
With
did you get in?
experience.
So why did you get into the competition anyway? Like, okay, so were you seriously, did you want to date her, or was that just like,
I was just there. I was there. It was an experience that was presented, and I just took on the experience. And you know, I had fun. I got a chance to play my new song on there called Bass Trap.
yeah,
So go pick that up. I did it. I dedicated that song to Wendy on the show. They played it on the show, and um, got a chance for 1.5 million Wendy Williams viewers to
right?
view Julian Vines.
Yeah. And you
So
know what?
it was like I said, it was a hmm
No, I was gonna say, and you know what? Truth be told, I mean, like immediately I saw you as one of the guys who wanted to date her. I was like, but Julian was in Kenya. I like we interviewed him at Capital Jazz Club, and I was like, let me reach out, let me speak to
hmm
him. But I was out there and I was rooting for you. So
yeah,
congratulations on reaching to the top three.
yeah. Unfortunately, there was hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of cougars in my DMs, and so
I don't know why
I
I'm laughing so
they got the wrong idea. So I'm like,
they were like, "How you doing?" Oh my
yeah,
gosh. Oh man.
yeah.
So how you holding up right now? I mean, like, are you okay? You good? Are you dating?
Uh, no, I'm not. I'm
Sorry,
not dating. I am. I'm out here still looking. for a wife, and so I can have at least 1 or 2 kids. That's it. Don't want any more of that. But it has to be with the right person, and settling I will not do. So yeah,
That's what's up. I like that.
yeah,
Don't settle down
yeah.
and make sure you pick the right one, Julian. I'm wishing you the best of luck.
Mm,
And
appreciate it.
you've been absolutely such a gentleman. Thank you. I know I know you said you were a little bit tired, but thank you so much.
I sound good. No problem.
Yeah, you're a blessing. Phil, Denny, thank you. This guy, thank you.
Mhm.
Julian, you're amazing. I'm going to keep watching your path. I'm going to keep following you up. I got probably out of my WhatsApp broadcast. Let me be very honest. The moment I put your face out there, there's some people I haven't heard from in 5 years, and they were just like, "Oh my gosh, Linda, congratulations!" And I was just like, "Stop the business." But and I was like, "No, leave me alone." But thank you so much. You've been
That's funny.
absolutely
Right.
amazing. Sending you love, kisses,
Oh,
and
no
let me
problem.
know how Kenya, Nairobi can continue to be part of your story of always evolving.
All
We can't
right.
wait to have you back. Yeah. Thank you to the
Yeah,
Hub
looking forward to a
Karen.
return.
Yes. Thank you to my sponsors, the Hub Karen. Can I talk to you about two places that I absolutely love? I love, if you're going to be at the Hub Karen, two places you got to check out. And this is authentic. You got to do the Italian restaurant, La Casina, and you got to do Premier. Sorry, I'm a woman in my 40s. And let me just tell you something. Her products are the bomb. They're amazing. If it's good for Mariah Carey, it's damn well good enough for me. So, Premier by Dead Sea and La Cucina. I always say, pick your choices. Right now, we're at ages, and I talk to my people who are on the fourth floor. Let's make the right choices. We eat well, we solidly do well. All right, sending you love. Thank you, Julian. Mwah! Thanks.
Thank you. See ya.
Bye, babe.